Welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Bob Sellers along with Heather Childers. After Dr. Anthony Fauci's trove of emails are leaked revealing key information from early pandemic days, many are calling for his removal and wondering if he might step down as a result. Included in these emails is proof of gain-of-function research and debunking mask rumors that Dr. Fauci insisted doubling up on. Joining us now to weigh in is Florida Congresswoman Cammack. Congresswoman, good to see you. How do you read all the goings-on we've seen with Dr. Fauci over the past couple of weeks?
Oh man, you talk about a treasure trove of just hypocrisy. And you would think that as much interaction that Dr. Fauci has had with the Clinton administration and their ilk, he would have gotten the note from Hillary to maybe have deleted those emails because it proved exactly what we have suspected all along, that not even Dr. Fauci is buying his own BS. I mean, from the lack of efficacy on the masks, which he acknowledges in writing, that the masks that are purchased in drugstores, that he was pushing, that he was forcing people all over the country, from school children all the way up to the elderly, to make them wear these face masks, that he himself didn't believe in their ability to stop the virus. And then, of course, you talked about the gain of function research that he denied was happening, and all the businesses that have shut down, economies that have been ruined, families that have lost loved ones because of his absolutely just BS science that he himself didn't believe in. It makes you wonder where his true motivations were. And I think that Americans deserve a lot of answers. There are a lot of questions. And I have to give a shout out to Dr. Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul has been asking these questions for a long time, really taking Dr. Fauci to task. I think more than ever, we need to first and foremost fire Fauci, but then we need to actually look at just how deep this goes and the ties and the connection of taxpayer-funded research in mainland China, and all of the things that have been done that truly have destroyed our economy as we know it.
Congresswoman, let's take a look at a couple of things here and begin with that exchange, one of many that you referenced, between Senator Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci, specifically, though, about the NIH funding gain of function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China. Listen.
The NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain of function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Do they fund Dr. Barrick?
We do not fund.
Do you fund Dr. Barrick's gain of function research?
Dr. Barrett does not doing gain of function research, and not
You don't think
in
inserting
China.
a bat virus spike protein that he got from the Wuhan Institute into the SARS virus is gain of function?
That is
You would
not
be in the minority because at least 200 scientists have signed a statement from the Cambridge Working Group saying that it is gain of function.
Well, it is not.
Well, of course, he's referencing Ralph Barrick, who was doing some research at UNC Chapel Hill in conjunction with the lab in Wuhan. And then we now know, thanks to these emails, that this was sent to Dr. Fauci by the principal deputy director of the NIAID in regards to gain of function. And in that, he says, the paper you sent me says the experiments were performed before the gain of function pause, but have since been reviewed and approved by the NIH. So exactly what he was telling Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, the opposite of there in his testimony. And then, of course, Rand Paul tweeting out, "Told you so." So your response to all of that?
I loved Senator Paul's response of, "I told you." And there's points that, and I'm sure like so many other Americans, I feel like we all kind of look around at each other and the ridiculousness of just the blatant lies and hypocrisy that Dr. Fauci and his colleagues have been spewing for the last year. And you have to ask yourself, do we look stupid? Do you think that we actually are believing the lies that they are peddling and pushing? And you see it right there in those committee hearings where he just straight up lied to Senator Rand Paul, and for months and months and months has been lying to the American public. It's time more than ever that we as Americans demand accountability for the handling of this virus, because we know that from the get-go he was working to mislead President Trump. Thank goodness President Trump didn't follow every single recommendation that he put forward and was really pushing for common sense, data-driven, science-backed guidance.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that we should have been doing from the beginning. But now we know, because we have the proof and it's in his own words, that Fauci lied and people died.
Congresswoman, let me turn it to another topic. Pro-life groups are slamming the president for excluding the Hyde Amendment from his $6 trillion budget. For those that aren't familiar, the Hyde Amendment is part of the legislation that bars the use of federal funds to pay for abortions, except to save the life of a mother or if a pregnancy arises from incest or rape. Now, before the Hyde Amendment took effect in 1980, an estimated 300,000 abortions were performed annually using taxpayer funds. So you have a comment about this, right?
Absolutely. You know, I am here today, thankfully, because against the advice of my mother's doctors, she chose life when her doctors and her own family urged her to abort me because it was a high-risk pregnancy. Now, I know that my situation, my story is not unique. There are millions of women who have gone into similar circumstances and had to make those tough decisions. But the fact that we are now at risk of having taxpayer dollars going to fund abortions, that is just unconscionable. Not only does this $6 trillion presidential budget bankrupt our country, but it bankrupts us morally when we can't even protect the very basics of life. You know, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Those are fundamental American values and rights. And when we are willing to actually say that, you know what, life isn't valued here in America, and we're willing to use taxpayer-funded dollars to fund these horrific abortions, that says a lot about where we are in this country right now. So we're going to continue to do what we have conservatives fight for the very, very basic right of life and make sure that the hypocrisy in government, whether it be them classifying bacteria on Mars as life or the DOJ double standard of a double homicide, a pregnant woman being considered a double homicide, we are going to be making sure that we are fighting every single day. And I sure could use everyone's help. You know, we have a discharge petition to advance legislation protecting the survivors of abortion attempts that have failed when they're outside the womb, that says, listen, if a child survives these abortion attempts, the doctor has to fight to save their life and it has to be reported. That bill is sitting there. It's 5 signatures short. We have every Republican who has signed on to that. We need 5 more to force a vote on the House floor. Nancy Pelosi has blocked this 75 times. Help us. Call your representatives. We need to get this to the floor because it's clear that this administration doesn't value the very basic tenet of life.
All right.
So it's where we're at.
Congresswoman Cammack, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob and Heather. Have a good one.
All right. We'll have